Oh, says we're streaming live on YouTube.
Hey everybody,
Hello. Hello, Internet. How's
how
it
are you?
going?
Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in.
That's right. I gotta go to the chat room to see what the story is though, because we could be streaming live, but people are just coming
Oh,
in
says
now.
we're
Streaming live on YouTube. And there I
Hey everybody,
am. Hello. Hello. Again, one of these days, we're really gonna just nail the professionality, but that day is not yet. Every
well,
time I
on
do
that
this,
day
it's,
we'll probably say professionalism.
you don't think we'll say professionality?
Not if we're going to go for professionalism.
Professionality is like when you adopt a professional personality.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Put it
Should
on
we just
Wikipedia.
yeah. I say we just start.
Okay,
I say, when the people get here,
look at my dome. Look how shiny my dome is.
did you get it shined?
I got it shaved this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. We have a song. Here we go.
Childish, oh shit. Last time I checked, I was still a kid. Childish, childish. This all freaks me out a bit. Childish, oh shit. How can I parent when I'm still a kid? Childish, oh shit. Who the hell decided I was ready for this? Childish, oh shit. This is like a job that I cannot quit. Childish, oh shit. Maybe I should have gotten fixed.
Hey, Greg Fitzsimmons here.
Alison Rosen also here.
I hope you're not surprised. I hope you weren't tuning in for Scarborough Country, and instead of Jason and Randy,
You get Greg and Allison.
a little
Also
foreshadowing.
twins.
We're going to talk about some twins later in the show.
That's right. That's a twin tease.
And we're not talking about your breasts, Allison.
Oh my God. So Elliot. Anyway, welcome to Childish, our parenting-ish show. Last night I was kneeling down, so I was like I was still a little bit taller than Elliot. But he suddenly, it was weird. It's like, it feels weird to say this, but when you're on a date with someone and you feel like things are about to take a turn, you feel like they're looking at you in a different way suddenly and like they're about to lay a move on you. Suddenly he got this look, this is my almost 4-year-old son, got this look on his face and he was looking at my chest, which because I had children is now like down here. You can't see where I'm pointing, my midsection.
Were you naked?
No, I was in a t-shirt. I did not have a bra on.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, he just suddenly and he goes, "What are these circles?" And he was pointing to my nipples. So we had a little anatomy lesson. I explained to him that he has nipples. I didn't explain that any nursing comes from that. Because I felt like that was just going to blow his mind too much. But
And if he had asked you why boys have nipples, what would you have explained to him?
I mean, thank God he didn't ask me because I don't know what I would have said. I just would have said everyone. Everyone has them. Yeah, everyone has them.
My wife was in the bathtub with Owen. And she used to go naked and he'd go naked. And, we're a very naked family. And so they were in the bathtub together.
Naked Fitz dogs.
And he must have been like 2. And he pointed to her. He used to call her boobs her yayas. And then so he pointed at the nipples and he goes, "Mommy, is this where you blow up your yayas?"
That is hilarious. What did she say?
She said, "Yep." That's your dad's job.
So how are you, Greg Fitzsimmons? This is like it's actually week 46 or 47 of the pandemic, and it just feels never ending, even though I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel. The days are blending.
I'm starting to, all I want to do is go to the beach at night when there's nobody around and scream at the top of my lungs for about 5 minutes. I'm so done. And look, do we need to even say a lot of people have it worse than us? Like my mother has a friend that she plays golf with in Florida. And the woman is 81 and she's from Italy. And she said to my mom, "You Americans with this pandemic complaint." And she goes, "When I was 5, during World War II. I lived in a cave for a year where we ate grass. So shut up that you can't get any toilet paper.
Yes, I get that.
But I'm just saying that because you have to say that. You
Right,
have to do a disclaimer when you complain, when you're, white, middle-class people who, you have it way worse than me with 2 little kids in the house. God bless you. It's fucking so much harder for you than anybody else.
No one was meant to raise their own children, Greg. It is unnatural.
It's unnatural.
No, seriously though, we're drowning because it is just impossible. And now I feel the need to, because I hear the way I sound, and like I sound like, oh, woe was me. And true, yes, everyone has it worse. A lot of people have it worse for real. I'm very fortunate. That being said, Daniel and I, the 2 of us, trying to work while also having a 4 and a 2-year-old who need attention constantly, because that's just how children are. Actually, Owen is he can entertain himself, but it's just constant. Every time you try to concentrate, something's pulling at your attention, and it makes you feel like you can't, like you're not a good parent, and you're also not good at your job.
Yeah. That's tough. That is tough. And it's like we all feel guilty. Yeah, we feel guilty in both directions. And the thing that I had an epiphany about with David Feldman just now when I was on his podcast is that we are not all about our careers. We take our careers very seriously. We've pushed them very hard. And before we had kids, we were all in. And once you have kids, you really have to give yourself credit that you are pulling back a little bit and that you are not going to be as successful as you might have been. But then, and it's not a calculation. It's not like, yeah, but you know what? Then later I'll have kids. No, it's just you have kids and it's in your heart and you do, you gravitate to your new priorities. And you have to give yourself credit right now that you are taking the time to spend with your kids. Do you know that Albert Einstein had a kid and he shipped the fucking kid to another country so he could concentrate?
I get it. What country and where? No,
I Germany, and you're wondering where they get the maybe he's got some relatives in Austria. But I mean, literally ignored his kid his entire life. Denied later that he even had a kid.
I hate how it seems very common that these people who did all sorts of amazing things for culture, society, education, when you find out that they were actually horrible to their families.
John Lennon used to beat his fucking kids.
I didn't know that. I knew he was a bad...
They called her Choco. No.
Okay. I knew he was not a good dad, but I didn't know he beat his kids.
Beat them. Johnny Peace. Johnny,
Really?
Yeah. You could always kind of tell with John Lennon that he had a little anger underneath.
Yeah.
Like when he talked to the press, I get it. The press were harassing him. But at the same time, there was a meanness to John Lennon.
Right.
That Paul McCartney, Ringo, George. Paul, Ringo, and George were truly like transcendent human beings that are filled with love, especially George Harrison. But Lennon was the guy that brought more grit to it, for sure.
Wasn't Hey Jude about Julian Lennon?
Yeah.
Well, that guy deserves to be shot. Listen, Greg, I'm going to turn the AC on a little bit in here because I just realized why I'm so warm. It's not because I'm heading toward the pause. It's because I have the heat on in here. I thought I turned the AC on, but it's the heat. That's very silly. Okay.
You're just demented. You're not menopausal.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. So have you been traveling? Have you done more shows?
I think the last time we spoke, I had finished my dates. I had gone to Phoenix, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was quarantined in the back for 6 days, and I watched a lot of TV, a lot of movies, saw a lot of good shit. I would highly recommend the Gianni Versace series that was on HBO.
Oh, yeah, the same. Wait, was that done by the same person who did the O.J. Simpson series?
I believe so.
Because I thought the O.J. series was really good.
Yeah, this was it swept the Emmys. I remember it winning all the Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really good. I rewatched some movies, but it was weird being back there alone.
Lonely?
I felt punished. I felt lonely. I felt punished. but at the same time, I would smoke pot and watch TV, and it sort of felt like I was on the road doing stand up, like I had my own space.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I got through it.
But you've emerged from your family inflicted quarantine.
Yes, stronger,
Good.
more focused.
Saw some things literally. So that movie that you recommended, which I haven't watched, called Tell Me Who I Am.
Tell Me Who I Am. Yeah, documentary.
Someone left a comment on our Instagram, and please, we love interaction with you. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ChildishPod, saying, Alison, I feel like Alison, I feel like I know you from listening to you well enough to say, whatever you do not watch this movie. I wish I hadn't watched it. It's the worst possible thing happens. I don't think you should watch it. So then, of course, I'm like, thank you for telling me. Now I have to go read the Wikipedia entry so I can be haunted without actually seeing it. And so now I know what the movie's about. And of course, I'm curious about it. But it sounds kind of really, really tough.
Look, life's tough. You're watching
Yeah.
a documentary. It's not going to be, like, did you ever see the Rosen? What was the one about the family were clowns, but it turns out he was a child molester?
Oh, yeah, I know I forget what it's called. I know
Capturing
what
the
you mean.
Freedmen.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Well, then if you're going to be a pussy, I wouldn't watch that one either, but they're like great documentaries. Come on, Allison.
If you're going to be a
in New York.
pussy.
You lived in New York. Come on. You wore black. You were in a rock band.
This is true. All these things you mentioned are true, but somehow I draw the line at I just can't handle horror.
Yeah.
Or documentaries that dabble. Can we say? I feel like we can say what it is, right? Because
No, I don't want to, because I'll
Okay.
tell you what. It's such a well done. Look, I think it's like, I watch Night Stalker,
Mhm.
and that's all about a serial killer. But you know what? It was sensational. It was exploitative. I felt it was gorier and more detailed in ways that it didn't need to be.
Right.
And I feel like in the right hands, you can take on subject matter that's very touchy. And,
All right,
and
well,
this
maybe-
is the right hands.
Maybe I'll watch it. I was a kid when The Night Stalker was in Orange County.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
remember for a few days that summer being really scared and sleeping in my parents' room because I was too scared to sleep in my own room. He would he targeted one-story yellow houses by the freeway.
No. I
Yeah,
didn't
that
know
was the
that.
thing. Was that
That
not in the
didn't come
documentary?
up.
Yeah.
No, it didn't come up.
And my best friend lived next door to a one-story yellow house near a freeway. And I remember I was supposed to spend the night at her house, and my parents decided to keep me home that night. And I don't know if they told her parents the real reason. I sort of hope not. Because if it was like, I'm sorry, we are afraid to be in your house because of its proximity to the target. Sleep well, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the food you serve and all that. It's just, we feel you're likely to be raped and killed. And we'd just rather not be a part of it.
Do you like your skin attached to your body? Do you enjoy the way your heart beats? We suggest maybe a motel tonight.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's so
Um,
creepy. Oh my
yeah.
God.
And yet it's one of those things where it gets blown out of proportion in our heads. And, like after 9/11, I remember being afraid to fly. But still, the chances of anything happening like that to you are so minuscule. The
I
chances...
know. I remember after 9/11, I was so afraid of like the president ignoring a folder that was telling him that I was going to be killed. That joke was really strained.
I want to laugh at it. Help me.
President Bush was given a
Oh.
folder from the Clinton administration telling him that there was impending terrorism and it was going to involve major airlines and probably going to
Yeah.
happen in New York. And
Right.
it even mentioned the Twin Towers. And it was ignored. It was put aside. And some people say that Cheney and Rumsfeld and that whole collection of lizard reptilians decided that it might be best for us to be attacked by a nation that has a lot of oil that wasn't cooperating with us at that time.
Yes.
So we could invade.
Right.
Because in fact, Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11.
I know.
It was the Saudis who would we invaded Pakistan,
Afghanistan.
They were really in Pakistan and they were Saudi Arabia.
Right.
This is all on my blog. Who gives a fuck? Middle-aged white guy.
I give a fuck. I'm the only one who comments there. And I am in the comment section and I'm ready to like have a fight with someone. It's just always me. But
I know. Yeah.
Listen, Greg, as you know, people leave us nice comments. Sometimes they're not nice. On we're on Apple Pod. We're everywhere that you would want to listen to a podcast.
Unbelievable.
We're there.
We're actually, in the New York City subway system where they say next stop, 3rd Avenue.
Yeah.
Childish plays.
That's right.
Stops. Yeah.
That's right. People, I recommend getting on this is some subway. It's not even humor. It's just a subway thing. Get on the Express so you're not interrupted by the MTA breaking up Childish. Get on the Express. Just go all the way to, where does it go?
It goes
Coney
all the way
Island?
up to the Bronx.
Go all the
Bronx
way.
Zoo, the Botanical Garden. Go all the way up.
Listen to Childish, get off, look at the zoo, listen to a different Childish, or maybe the same one on your way back. We're everywhere.
And if you're stuck at home, call Time Warner Cable, where you're going to be put on hold. Guess what the hold
Childish.
music is?
Childish. I was on the phone with CVS. They put me on hold for 45 minutes, and I heard almost an entire episode of Childish.
Did you say, hold on, I don't need the medication, put me back on hold?
That's right. They said, CVS, can you hold? And I said, gladly.
Right.
I need to catch up.
I said, you know what? I'm about to order my antidepressants. Not depressed anymore.
That's right. That's right. They have found they have asked us to stop helping people so much because their business is going down.
I know our agent called and said we might get dropped by CVS, which is why I decided to do the 9/11 rant to get people anxious again.
Back. Yeah. Listen, we love your comments. 5 stars is our favorite number. And Greg always hates when I read them because it makes him uncomfortable, but I'm going to read them anyway. I'm going to read just a couple. Just one. Just read one. I'm going to read 2 because one is good and one is not as good.
Okay.
The one that's not as good is about me, though, so you can take a deep breath and relax. Yeah. Good stuff, says Boston Pete. I'm a retired 69-year-old grandfather, possibly the oldest listener / YouTube viewer. These 2 are very entertaining and even informative at times. Sometimes we are. Did I already read that one?
Nope.
I'm getting deja vu. No, that's it. I'm getting deja vu. That's the good one. And yes, he does cite YouTube, where we are live right now, but you can watch us after the fact there. YouTube.com/Alison Rosen. I showered and put on makeup today, so go there to appreciate it. Greg is freshly shorn. Anyway, okay. Now, this next, look, not everyone is so positive about us. This one, the headline is just Alison. It's from LTO1234. And it's 3 out of 5 stars. There's no question that both Alison and Greg are funny. Alison was great on the Corolla podcast. I actually think she got railroaded by Corolla. But here's the thing. Buckle up, Alison. For some reason, about a year ago, Alison began talking in this sing-songy way. It's strange, because her tone is very different than when she was on Corolla, but weirdly, also different from early episodes of Childish. I think it may be a result of overcompensating due to remote recordings. Either way, been a fan for a long time, but I gotta check out, just not on board with her new vocal stylings.
I find it hard to not dance when you're talking.
I know.
I hold on to the arms of my chair to keep from springing up.
When I'm on the subway listening to Childish, I grab that pole and I do stripper dancing on it.
Yeah, right.
I don't even care. I don't even care if other people are in the way, and I don't even ask for tips. I just do it out of the joy of my heart. I just dance up and down the subway because the rhythm of Alison Rosen's voice, my own voice. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but no. The rhythm gets...
You know why you're not used to it is because you're not afraid to mix it up. It's R&B in one episode, and the next episode is disco.
That's right. I do bluegrass. I do Zydeco. I do protest songs. I do field recordings. I do found recordings. I do it all.
Yeah.
Spoken word.
Yeah.
I rap sometimes, convincingly too, which is like surprising because
and ironically, you don't sing the Childish theme song.
I don't, but I could, but I
Yeah.
don't. Anyway, thank you for giving me a new thing to wonder about. I have not noticed this, but of course now I am wondering what he means. Am I overcompensating am I overcompensating? That's not sing-songy, that's just crazy. Am I overcompensating? I don't know, probably. Anyway, sorry you had to check out, dude. Come back sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be on one of my different genre days. I do black metal. I do new metal. I do electronica. I do funk and pop.
You do rap. I mean, when you do rap, I really feel like, we don't have a lot of black listeners,
We have
but
some.
he loves it. He loves it when you rap.
I channel other people's pain when I rap. No, I'm not referring to my own childhood exactly. I did go to private school. I'm just saying it's it's convincing.
Yeah.
Like, Iggy Azalea, everyone feels like she's appropriating other people's culture. I'm appropriating her culture of appropriation.
Oh, nice.
Double appropriation.
Yeah. Double app.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen. This episode of Childish is brought to you by Lemonade Health. The new year is a great time to check in on your general health and well-being, especially in the middle of a pandemic. Lemonade Health is a virtual medical office providing you affordable health care without the need to use insurance and from the comfort and convenience of your own home. Lemonade's virtual medical team can treat anything from anxiety to depression to birth control, delivery, and more. And yes, we did say that some people are completely healed and cured just when they listen to Childish, but oftentimes you actually need something more and something real. Lemonade's providing Childish listeners with their first month of anxiety or depression treatment for a discounted price of $5. It's normally $95. Service is cancelable at any time. Lemonade's expert medical team will help you work out how long you should continue treatment based on your unique situation. Lemonade's service allows you to have as many check-ins as you need through messaging or via phone call or video chat, whatever is most convenient for you. Lemonade's pharmacy will then deliver FDA-approved meds directly to your door in only 2 to 3 business days. Treatment is confidential, not tied to insurance or your local pharmacy. Take the first step toward feeling better. Visit lemonadehealth.com/childish. And lemonade is spelled a little bit differently than how you might think. It's L-O-M.
L-O-M?
No, it's not. Pete, take that out. Excuse me. It's LEMONAID health.com. So lemon, like lemon, LEMON, like aid, health.com/childish to get your first month of anxiety or depression treatment for only $5. Question, Greg.
Yeah.
Pete, take this out too. YouTube people get to see this though, maybe. Should I take that line again? Like the way I explained it, did I make it more confusing?
No, I got it.
I didn't. You did? Okay. All right, great. Should we do some news?
Let's do some news.
Let's do some news.
Time for the news.
All right. I believe you have a story, right?
Yes. This is interesting because I looked this story up, thought it was interesting, thought it was in the wheelhouse of this show. And then I noticed that my ex-tenant, it's about her. It's not about her, but she's a part of it.
Whoa.
Pamela Redmond, chief executive of the baby naming site Nameberry, reported a jump in name searches on the site during the pandemic. There were about 4 million more page views during the 9-month period after the start of the pandemic in March, compared with the 9 months before it. She found that names derived from optimistic meanings like hope, light, and happiness have been trending upwards since the beginning. Parents are attracted to these positive meanings right now. Views of the name Zora, for example, which means dawn, and suggest new beginnings are up 40%,
Wow.
while alma, soul in Spanish, is up 37%. Lucius, which connotes light, I think of Lucius as the devil.
I think of Lucifer. Yeah.
Yeah, is up
Guess we're wrong.
24%. Other risers include Vivian, from the Latin root vivus, meaning alive. Aurora, Roman goddess of the sunrise.
That's
Felix, happy. You know how hard I fought for Felix, for Owen?
I didn't know. Maybe I
Yep.
did know this.
I wanted Pasquale or Felix.
Pasquale?
Yep.
I don't know any Pasquale. Oh my
That's
God.
correct. That would
I
have
know
been
a Pasquale that might actually be a Pasquale. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
saying it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Frida and Zuri. So place names such as Cairo and Milan are also on the rise, perhaps reflecting a longing to travel during lockdowns.
Interesting. Yes, I know someone who named her twins Joy and Ray, which I think are like really cute names.
Yeah.
But I imagine they're both these happy hope. Like I don't know if she meant it like ray of sunshine. I imagine she did. So.
Yeah, but I get the places you want to go. That's kind of nice. My friend named his twins strip club and racetrack.
And his wife was cool with that.
Well, she's a stripper and a jockey.
Oh wow.
She's a little tiny stripper. Her dance is "Hold Me Close" or is "Tiny Dancer" by Elton John.
I love it. I love it. Well, there you go.
What do you got for news?
I have a story about a survey or a study of the best states to raise a family. So this report compared all 50 states across 5 dimensions, which were family fun, health and safety, education and childcare, affordability, and socioeconomics. Doesn't that sound like 1, 2, 3, 4? So health and safety is 1, education and childcare is 1. It sounds like more than 5, but it is family fun, health and safety, education and childcare, affordability, and socioeconomics using data from the Census Bureau. And there were 52 indicators, including public school quality and weekly COVID death rate. So I have the 10 best states to raise a family. This is from according to Wallet Hub, and then the 10 worst states to raise a family.
Let me guess.
Okay, good.
North Carolina.
For best?
Yeah.
No.
Wow. Washington State.
No.
Texas.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Wait. Washington is in the top 10.
Okay,
I didn't see it.
go.
It was hiding there under a different state.
California.
Surprisingly, no. Or maybe not surprisingly, but no.
What are the states that people love? Colorado?
No.
All right, tell me.
Okay.
Jesus.
Number 10, Utah.
Yeah, if you want to be white.
Maybe.
Something tells me we're about to hear the 10 whitest states. It's going to be like Idaho.
Right. Well, let's see. I think so, because number 9 is Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
Number 8 is Washington.
Yeah.
Number 7, now this sort of surprises me, but maybe not, New Jersey.
Great schools.
Jersey is the butt of so many jokes. And yet a lot of people who lived in New York when I lived there have now moved out to New Jersey and are raising families. And I look at their pictures that they post and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it looks really like lovely and bucolic there.
Oh no, Jersey's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you got the Jersey Shore. You've got everything down towards Pennsylvania, super green and lush. It's like farm country and horses and.
Why is it
Well,
thought of
because
as so
the problem is
trashy?
when you leave New York City, you have to drive through Newark, and it's all these chemical plants. It smells like fucking death.
Got it.
And there's just smokestacks pouring chemicals into these swamps. It's like a hellscape. And so that's what people think of New Jersey.
I see. Sort of like if you judged California by, and I can't think of the name of, like, there's many cities you drive through, and it's like,
yeah,
what is that?
Right.
Okay. Chino. So we used to talk about the Chino winds. Chino has a specific funk. 6, New Hampshire.
Okay. Low
5,
taxes.
Vermont.
Yeah, these are the whitest states. These are all the whitest states except for New Jersey so far.
4 New York. Now that's sort of a surprise, but
Really?
maybe like upstate New York,
No,
Tarrytown.
not a lot of jobs. Tarrytown is not upstate New York. It's a suburb of New York City. Upstate New York is a lot of cities that are really like post-industrial factory towns that are not a lot going on. I'm surprised that New York is there. It's so expensive.
I literally consider everything that's not in the city upstate. So this is news to me.
Okay.
North Dakota.
All white. Also, that is where the nuclear arsenal is. So Russia
Great
knows
place
that.
to raise a family.
China knows that. If they launch the missiles, they're heading before New York, before California, they're going to North Dakota.
Number 2, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, Greg, this is a state that you have a connection to.
Let's see. Oh, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Wow.
How do you feel about
they
that?
call it Taxachusetts. A lot of the states they named have very high taxes. New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, all very high taxes. I don't know how you don't put Colorado in there. It's beautiful. Cheap land, safe. I don't know how the schools are. There's a lot of school shootings. Maybe that's the problem.
How did they do for COVID? Because weekly COVID deaths weighed in.
They don't have any.
Okay. Do you want to hear the 10 worst states to raise a family? Want to guess some of those?
Let me guess some of those. I will say Alabama, Mississippi.
Wait, hang on.
Florida.
Alabama is in there. Yes. Mississippi is in there. Florida did not make the cut.
Well, then there's something wrong with the survey.
Maybe it was like 39 or something.
Okay. New Mexico.
That is the worst. That is number 50. How do you know that?
I'm just thinking of the South. No, I'm thinking of like when you think of the school ratings, like which come in, which are the most illiterate states. These are the most illiterate states. Did I say Alabama? I said Alabama. I said
Alabama.
Mississippi. Louisiana?
No. Yes. Sorry. Yes. Louisiana.
Okay. I see a little trend building here.
of me being wrong.
No. Of me nailing these because they're the southern states.
Okay.
Arizona?
Yes. 42.
Jesus, I'm nailing it.
Yeah.
This is my spring tour, by the way.
Well, places that are bad to raise families might be good to see Greg shows.
Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to get away from your kids.
Yeah.
You've raised shitty kids. You don't want to be home with them.
Right.
I will say, all right, read me the rest.
Nevada.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Wow,
Arkansas.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, Arkansas, of course.
Oklahoma.
Of course.
Louisiana, West Virginia, Mississippi, New Mexico. Those are the...
But South Carolina, that's like... I always thought that North Carolina, South Carolina were like places where you could get a big house and everybody was happy and...
Yeah, North Carolina... Wait, where's... Charleston is North Carolina,
No, that's
right?
South Carolina.
Oh, it looks
That's
lovely.
where Colbert is from.
It looks beautiful and lovely.
I've been there. I was there 2 years ago. It's gorgeous.
Maybe the public school rankings are bad or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not sure, but okay.
So there you go.
Good article.
Thank you.
Here's another. Here's
okay.
a quick one. I think this was kind of interesting. These two chicks. I didn't say it. It's just how it's written. Now these twin sisters, Jalen April Crawford and Janelle Ann Leopoldo, gave birth to their sons, Bryson and Jace, on the same day in June.
Wow.
They found out they were pregnant just 4 days apart. They were very excited. Jalen lives in Arizona with her husband. Ready for this? Brandon Michael Crawford, who is, I mean, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I know who he is. He's the fucking all-star shortstop for the San Francisco Giants. He's won 2 or 3 World Series.
Wow.
I remember him because when he first started, he came in And he was, I think, the only player in history to hit a grand slam in his first at bat in professional baseball.
Wow.
Anyway,
Now he's a child.
his wife did it.
That's so cool.
She was a gymnast at UCLA where he played baseball. And her sister and husband also met at UCLA. All four of them, UCLA. Athletes, all athletes at UCLA.
People like this intimidate me.
Why?
With their, because there's, I mean, I haven't seen them, but I just imagine they're like, it's like I'm also intimidated by fashion people. Really, people who are really in shape and people who are really stylish. Because I'm neither of those. So anyway, though, that is very cool. I just wonder, did any planning go into it? Like right now, many of the...
No, as a matter of fact, like they both had like 7 or 8 abortions. No, I'm kidding. No, they both had, like, one had a couple miscarriages. The other one had ectopic. What do you call it?
Ectopic. Oh.
Ectopic pregnancy.
No, I'm asking, did any planning go into them, like, trying to get pregnant at the exact same time?
No, what I'm saying is they both struggled. And one did in vitro. And then so it was kind of miraculous. Both their pregnancies were a little bit, miraculous. I would say miraculous, but if I was a woman from the South, I might say miraculous.
This is miraculous. I mean, science helped, but the
Yeah.
miracle of science.
I
Well,
couldn't tell from the
that's fine.
article, and I scoured the article, and then I went down a rabbit hole about each person, and I found out the brother-in-law, the other father, is he played soccer at UCLA, and I didn't read much about him later, so I don't know if his life has turned out as well. I think he might be the guy at Thanksgiving that kind of keeps it quiet and
Right.
drinks, and goes, can I get anybody a drink? And then when he's inside, he does a couple shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no matter what he does, it's not as good.
No.
And then, but then the sister, his wife also, do you think she is like, oh, he just got employee of the month, or like mentioning all his little things?
Which only makes him feel worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even the miracle of them having a kid got trumped by that other goddamn family.
That's right.
They have to share it.
Yeah, on the same day that they announced that they're both pregnant, he announces that he just got the Golden Glove for 2020.
Right.
But the other thing that I looked really hard for, and they don't mention in the article, I think the article was from People, so it was very fluffy, was whether or not they were cesarean, because that's a little bit less of a miracle if you go like, hey, we're gonna bust out a couple sets of knives on the same day, and
Right.
one of them's like not even due.
Yeah. Right. Did they have the same doctor who was taking a vacation on a certain day? I'm just kidding.
They went to the same hospital that they were born in, and the grandparents flew in, and the fathers were there, so it was a whole big, perfect little situation.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
I have a question, Greg. How did you come up? Like, why were you? No judgment, but in what circumstance were you reading People magazine?
I like to keep abreast of. No, I was looking for parent. I look up. I put in parenting news, and I scour the internet. I go to science. There's a science.
I know.
There's a science one that I go to a lot, but a lot of that has to do with studies.
Yeah.
And that gets a little bit dry. And
I do. Good.
So People has the ones that bring a little bit of a tear to your eye.
I do the same thing, and today I was like, oh, there's the stories Greg did on the last show. This is where he found them. I thought maybe you had like not a hardcover, like a actual People magazine that someone had stolen from a waiting room or something. Although I think in office waiting rooms, they don't have magazines anymore.
I don't think so. They don't want you touching anything. Nobody wants to share anything in a doctor's office any longer.
Right. Our pediatrician, like months ago, said something because I said like how we were talking about COVID and said, how's it going? And she's like, we've been okay because we don't see sick children. Like,
yeah.
I think the nurse said that.
When I was a kid,
well, okay.
when I was like 10, there was a haircutting place that we went to. All the boys went to this place. It was called the Stag Brothers.
Mm.
And there were these Italian Guido guys that were the brothers, the Stag Brothers. And they had, when you waited, they had Playboy magazines. And so your mother would drive, and Mom, I got it. No, don't come in. You go inside and you sit there and you read a Playboy and you get a little hard on, and then they put the fucking wrap around you so nobody can see your erection. And it was the greatest. It was like the first time I'd ever seen a Playboy.
That's amazing. Did the mothers know?
They had no idea. And the Stag Brothers, they had disco playing. They didn't spray your hair. They just wet their hand and slapped on the side of the head. Hey, how you doing, Paisan? What do you got going in your pants there? You got a little party going on?
That's hilarious.
Hmm.
I don't, as a mom of boys, I feel, and I'm getting a real head start because it's not happening for years, but I feel nervous about them going through puberty and like I guess Daniel will just be the one who sort of has all those discussions. And I don't know, the idea of having a boy going through puberty, I don't know how to handle that. I feel like there's like traps all over the place of, accidentally walking in on something or the sheets or all of it. Like I have no idea what a hormonal little boy is like. And I don't want to be, and I want to be a good parent to him, but I have no idea how.
When I used to masturbate as a teenager, I had a creaky bed and I was upstairs and my room was above the TV room where my parents were every night. And so I was very delicate, and I used to put my feet up on the headboard so that it wouldn't creak, and then I would keep very still. I was a very still masturbator. It was zen-like. And never used lotion because I didn't want to get a lot of motion going. I just grabbed on
bare minimum.
Like being on a subway, like grabbing onto the. And so I would jerk off into a sock, and I was always like, okay, this is cool. And this went on for a while, and then I came home from school one day, and I sat on my bed, and it didn't creak, and I looked up on my dresser, and there was a can of 4-in-1 oil. My mother had oiled my bed springs.
Do you think she knew?
Of course she knew.
Well, I don't know.
Sitting there listening to creak, 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 creak.
Oh,
creak
God.
I wasn't, I wasn't as fly
you weren't
as I thought I was.
Stealthy as yeah. Oh.
So I used that 3-in-1 oil, and I just started whacking off with it.
See, I feel like that, except for the part where she left the can there. If she had just stealthily snuck in and then oiled it and then left, then she'd be like the masturbation fairy.
She might have been sending a message.
Yeah, I sort of wonder that.
But yeah, and that was unassisted. This is back in the 70s, where 70s, I guess 80s. There was no porn. I didn't have a porn magazine. I didn't have a movie. I didn't have a porn on my.
Had you gone to the Stag Brothers yet?
Yeah, that's all I had. I had memories.
Just the memories.
Stag Brothers.
The memories of a haircut. Do you get turned on when you get haircuts now?
Yes.
Elliot asked me today, he said, Mommy, what does the tooth fairy look like? And I was like, because of course I wanted to say, oh, she's not real, but I don't know if I'm supposed to, I didn't know what to do. So I said, oh, and before I had a chance to answer, he said, what does her face look like? And so I said, oh, let's look up a picture. And I typed in tooth fairy. And then I just found like a cartoon drawing of her looking like Tinkerbell, and I handed it to him, and that was enough for him. So
I think it might be like Muhammad, where you're not supposed to depict her.
Right. I think some people lost their jobs, possibly their lives, over this specific cartoon.
Yeah, the dentists will kill you. They stone you.
Should we do some highs and lows?
Why not? Why don't you start?
Okay, I sure will. Highs and lows. I'm just going to be honest. There's not a lot going on in the world The big news in this house is that Elliot is turning 4 on Wednesday.
That's big.
That's big. And also he's doing really well with toilet training, but I've already talked about that. So I'm going to share my own personal high, and it is a little bit pathetic. However, there's this dish that my mom used to make. It was like, I feel like it's the epitome of 80s or 70s or 90s cooking. She probably got the recipe off of a Campbell's soup can, but it is chicken and rice with cream of mushroom soup, and some like Lipton onion soup mix. I think it was like, I think it's a casserole basically. Not fancy, but I always liked it. So I was like, is there a way to do this with cauliflower rice instead of real rice? And so I have been experimenting with this and trying to make it, and I've done it in the Instant Pot and the oven, and I've put in some different vegetables, but I've just been having fun experimenting with trying to recreate this specific recipe. I have not been able to do it exactly because the cauliflower rice does not absorb the liquid in the same way that actual rice would. So it's turning into like a stewy soup. However, I find it very delicious, and my farts have been incredible. That's my high.
Is the high the farts, or is it the cooking?
It's the cooking. The farts are actually a low. For both Daniel and me. That's been a real, that's a whole situation. But the cooking, let's go back to the less disgusting parts. The cooking has been very fun. I've enjoyed it.
I gotta say, Alison, in our history of, how long have you been doing this show?
Like 2 years, 3 years.
That's the saddest high you've ever had.
I know.
Topped, or I should say bottomed, only by my high.
Okay.
Which is,
let's hear something good.
I don't fucking have one. I sat here trying to think of the high of my last 2 weeks, because I'm pretty sure the last time we did the podcast, I told you that I had won my football pool, right?
No, I don't think you'd won yet.
Good. Then I have a high.
Oh, good. You won it. That's amazing. Because you had a whole strategy.
I had my whole strategy. It started in September. I guessed 18 consecutive football games in a row.
Wow.
And I split it with 3 other people. There was originally 200 people in the pool. Came down to the final 4, and then once it goes to the playoffs, they end it. So whoever's left after that. Usually the pool goes nowhere near the end of the season, but people hung in this year. So I won a bunch of money. I won like $750.
Wow.
But the thing is, I'm giving it to, I told JoJo I was going to start an IRA account for her using the money.
Oh.
So I got to do that. Still got to do it. But
nice.
I started one for Owen last year.
That's nice.
And she's going to put some money in. I'll put some more money in also. But, they say if you start early enough, your kids will have $1 million when they retire. As long as you fund them, you got to do it for like the first 10 years of their life. If you just put in like $2,000 a year, for the first 10 years of their life, they'll have $1 million when they retire.
Daniel and I are so fucked for retirement. I don't have more to say about it than just that. Just that, like, but I imagine a lot of people in our generation are. Like, there's just not.
Oh, no.
People who are in a position.
People used to have pensions with their jobs, and now they don't. Right. People used to live off their pensions.
We both have small accounts that we add to, but it's like when you read that, by this age, you're supposed to have X amount. Like, I have like 1/10 of that.
You should have $1 million right now.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not good, Alison.
Do I look like someone who has $1 million?
Yeah, you got $1 million smile. $1 million personality. You just don't have $1 million bank account.
No, do you have $1 million in retirement? Well, you're rich. Do you have $1 million in retirement? Did you have $1 million in retirement when you were in your 40s? Well, you did. Well.
I don't want to talk about money.
Yeah.
But let's just say this. If you have some money, buy some gold, buy some silver, and just hold on to it. Now I feel bad about my lack of financial success. Well, what about your guys' parents? Are you going to inherit any money from your parents?
Yeah, maybe.
How much do you think they're worth?
I don't want to talk about money.
Ah.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just talking about specifically what we have socked away for retirement is not $1 million. It is is definitely not $1 million.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're young
But
and
you've
you've
also
managed,
got real estate, and that house is going to be worth, you're going to pay off that house by the
Yeah.
time you retire. Wait, is it a 30-year loan?
it's a 30-year loan.
Oh, all right.
Well, I love working. I just work forever. I love it. Well, look. Realistically, no one is retiring ever again. So we can all continue
I
to
hope you
do
like
what we do.
I hope you like being greeted at Walmart, because there's going to be a lot of greeters.
That's right. Listen, I have a low. I talked about it a little bit before, but I feel like it is, it just sounds whiny, and I'm sorry, but we thought we had childcare lined up, and we were like, this week is hell, but help is coming, in a couple days, in a few days, it's going to be, and like I sort of had been planning around it, and then that did not happen, which is a whole long story. The woman who we thought was coming may still come later on, but for now, we do not have any childcare again. And Daniel and I were both so like, oh, fuck. like when you think help is coming and then it. So anyway,
Yeah.
I am starting to put out the word that like I'm looking for, a nanny or babysitter, but realistically, I don't know how that works right now when I'm kind of I'm afraid to be doing in-person interviews. I don't know. Just the challenge of keeping the whole situation safe. I don't exactly know. But anyway, that's my low is just the struggle of trying to work and then also be taking care of kids. Like you were saying before about, recognizing that maybe you're not going to push your career as much. Once it became clear that like, at least for the next 3 weeks until my mother-in-law comes back, we're not going to have any help. I was like, okay, well, then I just need to maintain a certain level for the next few weeks. I don't need to bite off more than I can chew. I don't need to, be booking my podcast like crazy and get a whole bunch of guests where I'm going to need to be doing a lot of prep. Even though there still are some, but yeah, I'm just getting through it.
Sounds very healthy.
Thank you.
Sounds like you've got a good perspective on where you're at right now. And if there's any listeners that want to babysit Allison's kids, and it doesn't have to be the same person, we'll get a different person each week.
That sounds safe.
Milo, and again, I don't have one. It's like,
No.
I mean, it's all a low. It's
Yeah.
fucking, my son is, he's going out of his mind. I have to watch my son go out of his mind in the back. He's just like, he works out for 2 hours a day and then he paces, kicks a soccer ball in circles around the house and is miserable. And I hate to see it because it's like watching a wild steed that should be running in the wild, but he's trapped in the barn and the barn's on
Right.
fire.
Oh boy. I was just going to say he's like Free Willy with his fin tucked over. Did you see Free Willy?
No.
Well, whales in captivity, instead of their fin being up, it it curls over to show they're depressed.
Okay. Yeah.
In the movie. Probably in real life too. Yeah.
Well, he's going
Well,
back to
poor
school
Owen.
in 3 weeks, so
That does
he'll
sound
be
like a
happy.
low.
He'll be back. He'll be happy back in Chicago.
Good.
Yeah. Should we
And
do
then
some
will
mail?
he be doing classes remotely though, or
Yeah,
Yes, I have a
everything's
question.
remotely,
Will
but
he be
at
doing
least
classes remotely?
but he'll be living with his 5 roommates, so they're very conscientious. They keep a bubble going in the apartment, but they've got each other. And he can deal with the Chicago winter, but he will have gotten away with, half the winter not being there. So he just
Right.
has to deal with February and March.
I would love to be in snow right now.
New York
say.
got fucking hammered today.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Blizzard.
I still would like it.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on just a second. We take calls on this show. Take your
Oh, yeah,
voicemails.
we do.
805-317-4243.
And what did we decide that spells?
Oh, you came up with something. What was it?
I
We'll
can't
get back
remember.
to you on. We'll circle back.
Yeah.
You rang.
Now, for some reason, this is not loading, not loaded up. Hang on a second. I will get this going.
So I'm just listening to Childish. It's 4:30 in the morning here in Tucson, Arizona, and I hear Greg talk about how stupid the ASU girls are. And you are right. They are so dumb. Everybody in Tucson hates ASU. University of Arizona does not have people like that. We don't let them into our school. I didn't go to University of Arizona, and I'm not from Tucson. However, we hate ASU, and it's because they're all so dumb. Anyway, sorry. This is Alyssa Van Dyke. I've been listening for a long time, and I wanted to tell you I agree with you. Okay, bye.
Well, thank you for calling, Alyssa. Do you feel vindicated, Greg, and validated?
Well, this isn't breaking news. It's literally the party school. It's been the party school in the country for 20 years. And if you're a parent that is scrimped and saved for your whole life to send your kid to a higher education and you send them to ASU, you deserve the fucking alcoholic, sexed out nothing that's going to come out of there 4 years later. It's insane to me that any parent would let their kids go to ASU.
If you are a parent whose kid went to ASU, we want to know your thoughts about what Greg just said, and we want to know what made you choose this school. Write to us at Childish Pod on, let me just say that differently. You can reach us. Our email is childishpod@gmail.com, childishpod@gmail.com, or of course on social media at childishpod, Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, the campus is in Tempe, and it's just every bar just looks like they serve bad chicken wings and they mop vomit. Every single bar. Nothing looks like it has any class or anything redeeming about it. It's just sleazy guys letting underage kids come in and drink.
I didn't know that's what Tempe or Tempe. Some people say Tempe.
Tempe.
I didn't know that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Phoenix is there's not a lot unique about Phoenix.
No, you got Sheriff Joe Arapaho, who's the guy who makes all the inmates dress in pink, and he puts them in tents outside when it's 120 degrees out, and he humiliates them.
He sounds just like a real big sweetheart.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Sounds like a lovely man. Greg, have we done it?
I think we did it, Allison.
I think we did.
Mother of God.
To the people who say we can't, in your face, we did it again, and we will keep doing it forever. Because
I feel like it's like
retiring.
You're shorting the market. You keep shorting the market, and the market keeps going up. That's what's
right.
happening. And I hope you're enjoying your losses.
Yeah, that's right. Suck on that, people who think we can't do it. Greg, where might we find you? Any plugs?
Well, Allison, I've got a bunch of cameos that came in the last couple days. If you want me to do a cameo for you, go to that app and look me up, and I'll give you a shout out and give you some love. Also, Fitzdog Radio's on Tuesdays. The Sunday Papers with Mike Gibbons. We do every Sunday. We cover the news in an offbeat, edgy kind of a way.
Oh my God. Are you not afraid to say what people are thinking?
We are not PC, Allison.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I could handle it.
Also, I got tour dates coming up end of March. I'm going to be going to a bunch of places. Go to fitzdog.com for details.
Listen to my podcast, Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. It comes out Mondays and Thursdays. This week I have Jenny Hutt, who is a Sirius XM star and a lawyer and a mom and a dog mom and a chronic dieter on my show. That was really good. I recently had Mark Norman on. I had Alexa Bliss, the wrestler, on. Go check out all of those. They're also on YouTube. Too many I've got to get the out of my lingo. Anyway, youtube.com/Alison Rosen. Subscribe. You can watch them or just listen wherever you listen. And also I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. All sorts of fun stuff over there. I'm also on Cameo like Greg, and I have a book out. We both have books out. Just go look up our stuff and then subscribe to it and purchase things and tell your friends.
I'm Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Alison Rosen.
And we are
Childish. Great. We did it. Let me